Okay, I'm just going to review real quick a couple things about equivalent fractions, some ways we already know how to find them. Let's go ahead and take a look at this fraction. I can see that this is 2 out of 3, or 2/3. And one way to make an equivalent fraction is to not change the picture any, not add any more shaded parts, not change the size, but just add more partitions. Now this is 4 out of 6, or 4/6. And to double check that they're equivalent, I'm going to check and make sure we use the same factor to multiply both of them. 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 equals 6. Since these match, I know they're equivalent. One more real quick. I can see that this fraction is 2 out of 4, or 2/4. This is also 2/4, so I will add some partitions. I won't shade anymore. I won't change the size. But I do want to make sure that all my pieces are the same size as each other. Looks like they are. Now I have 4/8, and I'll check to see what factor I multiplied them by. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. This 2 and this 2 are the same, so I know they are equivalent. One way is to add more partitions, more lines, and multiply. Here we're going to take a look at how to take away lines and divide. I can see that this fraction is 2/4. Now I'm going to see what lines are necessary here. Are there any I can get rid of? Now this line right here, that's got to stay because it separates the numerator from the whole. So this line has to stay. But this line, I think I can get rid of. Now is my fraction 2 out of 3? Well, it's not because these pieces are smaller than this half. So I'll get rid of this line also. Now I have 1 out of 2, or 1/2. And the amount of yellow didn't change. It's the same still. The shaded amount, or the numerator, is the same. My whole shape is still the same size. I just have fewer partitions. So I divided. Okay? Now let's see what divisor we have. 2 divided by blank equals 1. I think that's 2. And 4 divided by 2 equals 2. My divisors are the same. My numerators are still the same size. My wholes are the same size. So starting at 2/4, I can still find that 1/2 is equivalent. Let's take a look at this one. The fraction I'm starting out with is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 4 is 8. 4/8. Think about what lines are not necessary. I know I need to keep this one, but I bet I can get rid of that one and that one. Now, this is not a fraction because this piece is much smaller than this piece. I got to make sure they're all equal. Getting closer to equal, not there yet. Now it looks like I'm there. My fraction now is 1/2. Now I had 1, 2, 3, 4 parts that became 1, 4 parts that became 1. That means those 4 parts were divided by 4, and now they equal 1. The total of 8 parts is divided by 4, because each piece had 4 in it, and now it's 1. So that 8 divided by 4 equals 2. My divisors are the same. I know 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. Let's take a look at this one. Make a prediction in your head. You can pause the video if you want to think about what lines do you think you could get rid of. Could we get rid of these horizontal lines? I know I have to keep that one. So, excuse me, the horizontal lines. Should we get rid of the vertical lines? Make a prediction. I'll go ahead and write my fraction. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the whole area is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3 is 6/15. Now, if I'm looking at my other picture, it also starts as 6/15, but I need to think, well, I've got to keep this line because it separates. So maybe I can get rid of this horizontal line. Now, these pieces are too small, so maybe I get rid of that one also. Are all my pieces the same size? Looks like they are. So I think my new fraction is 2 out of 5, 2/5. Now I'm going to check and see if I can divide by the same number in both to get 2/5. 6 divided by blank is 2. I think that's 3. And 15 divided by blank is 5. I think that's 3. I can also check by doing the inverse operation, multiplying. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. I know 6/15 is equivalent to 2/5. Let's look at another one. My original fraction is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 out of 12. Now my fraction here also starts as 4 out of 12. I know whatever they are is equivalent, but I have to find the exact representation. Think about what partitions, what divisions I need to keep, and which ones can go away. I know I need that line because it's separating my numerator from the whole. Maybe I can get rid of this one. But now these pieces are much too small. Oh, I found one option. Looks like these are all the same size. It's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 sixths. Let's check with division. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. That works. But I think I can come up with another one also. If I get rid of this line here in the center, my new fraction is 1 out of 3, or 1/3. Let's see if I can divide here and get an even smaller fraction. 2 divided by 2 equals 1, and 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So 4/12 is equivalent to 2 sixths and 1/3. All three of those fractions are equivalent. Let's take a look at this one. My original fraction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is my numerator, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. My fraction is 8/24. Let's think about what lines I can keep, what partitions can go. I know that one's going to stay. It separates the numerator from the whole. Maybe this one. Oh no, that's got to go too. Maybe here, 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 and here. So it looks like my fraction has all pieces the same size, and I've got 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 out of 6. Let's check my division here. 8 divided by blank is 2. If I'm not sure, I can do 2 times blank is 8. I know that's 4. 6 times blank is 24. That's 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 24 divided by 4 is 6. My divisors are the same. 8/24 is equivalent to 2 sixths. We'll look at one more. Let's see, my fraction is 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 eighths. So I'll think about over here what lines I can get rid of, what lines need to stay. That's got to stay. That's got to stay. Maybe I can get rid of this one. And I don't need these two to be separated from each other. I can get rid of that one. I think every other line is essential. Looks like my new fraction is 1 out of 2, 3, 4. 1/4. Let's check to see if 2 eighths is equivalent to 1/4 with division. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. These divisors match. I'm all set. Okay, here's just a couple tips for when we're reducing fractions. I started with 6/15. I got rid of some lines. I have to be careful that my pieces here are smaller than here, so this is not one that works. And here, if I can change this, my pieces are all the same size now. That one does work. The divisors are the same, so this works. 6/15 turning into 3/6. I know 6 divided by 2 is 3, but you can't do 15 divided by anything to equal 6. So I know 3/6 doesn't work based on the math, and it doesn't work based on the picture. But it does work as 2/5 in the picture and with a division. So that's a little bit about reducing your fractions.